Today we observe International Anti-Corruption Day, December 9th. It's historic. This day came about 10 years ago when right in our front yard in Merida, Yucatan, the United Nations Convention Against Corruption was adopted by the UN General Assembly on the 31st of October 2003 by Resolution 58/4. Imagine, it was so close to us and we never signed it. Everybody know how quick a trip to Merida is, right? Many of us have been there for medical purposes. But the one true healing we needed as a nation, we didn't go get the prescription there and then. And that was important. We have a corruption in public life legislation that requires a simple thing as the appointment of an integrity commission. We have a law already that deals with corruption. It's not perfect, but it exists. And a simple appointment of a commission cannot be done, has not been done, and there's no sign in the near future that it will be done. That is part of the problem coming from our government. Then that same legislation requires some serious amendment. The recent events where you see Minister of State Penner being accused of being part of the issuance of a passport to a man detained in prison in Taiwan who could not have possibly set foot on our lands, but yet there's a declaration that he did, and he gets nationality and passport. Should have been dealt by that legislation. But the commission is not in place. The legislation does not make provision how to deal with it. That is part of the corruption. What Belizeans do not understand is that many times governments, just for a facade, pass a legislation like the one I'm talking about, but with no true teeth. There was never any intention for it to be effective. And that in itself is corruption. The Freedom of Information Act that should make information so accessible, not one person I've ever heard got a response. I wrote 12 letters. Up to today, not one response from any of the departments. That is part of the problem. That is part of the corruption. The system they put in place to make you even want to use it is to frustrate you. That is part of the problem. That is symptomatic of corruption. The Referendum Act that should give people power to hold their leaders accountable has been written in such a way that, imagine, there's a provision, it's Section 8, that says that the minister responsible should create regulations as to how a referendum should be carried out. It has never been done. So no matter how many people try to call a referendum, they will always find a loophole because there is a lacuna. There's something missing as to how to implement it. That is part of the problem. It is symptomatic of the corruption.